All right, Smell Good family, we are back with a new installment of the Scent Profile series. All right, so this is part 4, and today we're going to be covering the beautiful note of rose. All right, and rose is used in so many different styles of fragrances, so many different blends. It goes great with so many other prominent notes and accords, and just over the past really 3 years, 4 years, 3 years of my journey, I've really fallen in love with rose. And there's so many different representation of what rose can do, and we're here to talk about that today. And I know rose, the floral aspect of it, seems to get placed on one gender a lot, but that is far from the truth. Rose can be enjoyed by everybody, and the fragrances that I'm talking about today, rose is represented differently in each one of them. So they're like everything in the world, there's different variety for everything. And for my fellas, for my ladies, anybody, tapping into your style of rose could be critical in your journey of figuring out if you like rose or not. So looking forward to this one. It's just rose is one of the top 5 notes for me, like period, in fragrances and all the perfumery. So looking forward to talking about it today. So welcome back to the Scent Profile series. This is part 4, and we're covering the beautiful note of rose. Let's get to it. YouTube, what's going on YouTube? What is going on? What is happening, man? Of course, it's your guy one more time, DEDRICKHICKSJR, and now I'm back with another fragrance video. Smell Good family. Hopefully everyone is doing well, doing great, doing fantastic. And as always, man, it's positive energy, it's positive vibes, and most importantly, it is positive vibes only. All right, so as you saw in the intro, we are back with the Scent Profile series part 4, and the note of rose, man. I could go on and on and on and on about my journey and my story to really appreciating the note of rose. And whether you're talking Turkish rose or Bulgarian rose or Damask rose or any other version of rose out there, it's been forever in the world of perfumery that rose has been an accord and a note that has been in the forefront. It's always in the mix. All right, so as the world turns and perfumery expands and different perfumers and brands appear, rose, at least in my journey, has been showing up in a lot of different ways. You're talking about spicy rose, fresh rose, jammy rose, sweet honey like rose, like just so many different types of roses, man. So again, rose is not just a contribution to women. It's not. And a lot of you out there, my guys, you guys have fallen in love with rose as well. So I got 5 fragrances here today that show off rose, and it's really versatile form. Like rose is so versatile because it can be used in many, many ways, and these fragrances are good in different situations. All right, so let's go ahead and kick it off. Up first, this is the latest fragrance to my collection, and I just wore this for a full wearing for the first time, and I've fallen in love with it. It's one of the best from this particular house, and quite honestly, one of the very best rose fragrances that I've ever experienced, man. From the house of Ormonde Jayne, we have Nawab of Oudh Intensivo. Nawab of Oudh Intensivo. My goodness, what an absolute pleasure it was wearing this fragrance, man. Now, with this fragrance, man, there is this there's a spicy rose appearance through and through the fragrance. The rose in here is blended with spices, and there's like this chili pepper note in here, and I think the rose in here, it comes off fresh and slightly powdery, slightly jammy, and the combination of the two just really make magic. There's some cinnamon in this fragrance as well that adds to that kind of sweet and spicy tone with the rose. But the rose lives on and on and on through this fragrance. Very elegant, very classy, very grown up and mature. I wore it to the office, and I almost felt like I wasn't, even though I wear a button down, slacks, and hard bottoms to work, I kind of felt like I kind of underdressed wearing this fragrance just in my mind, because just my experience, it kept saying to me, classy, elegant, sophisticated, like, you know, night out, you know, intimate night out, dressing down, black tie, wedding day. This is what this fragrance gives off to me. And I've heard recently, I've heard a lot of great things about this fragrance, but man, I will say this, the rose in here is just so elegant, and then it blends with every aspect of the note pyramid of this fragrance, from the opening to the mid and to the dry down. It's like different vibes of rose show up in this fragrance. Like I said, you get that little bit of a spicy rose, you get that fresh rose, you get a little bit of a sweet, jammy, honey-like rose in this fragrance, man. This is absolutely beautiful and stunning, very unisex for sure. To me, leans a little masculine because of how spicy and the pop of the spices blend with the rose in the immediate opening of this fragrance, man. So if you haven't got your nose on Nawab of Oudh Intensivo from Ormonde Jayne, and you're a lover of rose, man, you are super duper missing out on what this fragrance has to offer, man. So get a sample, test it out, try it out for yourself. I blind bought this because some noses that I trust and some people who I rock with were telling me about this fragrance, and they know my love and affection for rose. So this one is awesome, from the house of Ormonde Jayne. Beautiful rose. This is more of a spiced rose scent. But like I said, as the fragrance continues to develop, you get different facets, a little bit of a powdery tone, a little bit of a fresh tone, a little bit of a like this honey jammy tone to the fragrance, to the rose as well. So try it, man. It's worth a sample. From the house of Ormonde Jayne, I love this stuff. This is a 10 out of 10 rose fragrance for me. Yes, it is like that for me. Great performer, beautiful, great blend, great stuff. From the house of Ormonde Jayne, we have Nawab of Oudh Intensivo. This is absolutely stunning. Great fragrance. All right. Up next, the rose fragrance that really catapulted my curiosity. Well, my love. The first fragrance, honestly, that piqued my curiosity with rose was Maison Toy Boy. That was the first one. But this one made me fall in love with the prospect of rose fragrances. Made me fall in love with it. And what am I talking about? From the house of Zaharoff. To this date, this is still pound for pound the best rose fragrance that I own in my collection. And it's great. We have from the house of Zaharoff, we have Signature Rosé. Signature Rosé. Wow, just wow. When I got my nose on this for the very first time, I had never experienced rose like this. This is a very sweet and jammy rose. It does have some smoky facets to this fragrance as well. But immediately, I had heard of the term jammy rose for quite some time, but I had never experienced it. Most rose fragrances before this one were just fresh roses, like stem of the rose. So I really didn't have an opportunity. I hadn't had an opportunity at that time to really get a gauge on all of the things that rose can do. Well, this opened up my mind and gave me a great experience with this. So with this one, you know, to me, this was the first time where I was like, oh yeah, like rose can be worn by anybody. Like this gave me an education in the rose and what this fragrance does. And like I was saying before, I think this the jammy nature of this rose, and then you get this smokiness from this incense in here as well. There's this beautiful sugar cane note that adds to the sweet value of this fragrance, man. And it's just one of those ones where it's just flat out sexy. This is a sexy fragrance. It definitely has massive intentions with this fragrance. The profile is outstanding, man. And like I said, this made me fall in love with rose. Made me I was more inquiring about rose and what rose can do with this particular fragrance. And I know everyone has their favorite rose. There's so many different fragrances out there that people are loving and enjoying, and that is what it's all about. But for me, to my nose and my experience, and I don't know, maybe because there's some I guess value ties to this one, because this opened up my mind to rose, why I kind of feel the way that I do. Maybe, I don't know, I'm sure that does play a part. But just all in all, The jammy nature of this fragrance, the smoky nature of this fragrance really shook the foundation of my thought process when it comes to rose. This is excellent. Very versatile, just like Nawab of Oudh, very versatile. You can wear this pretty much anytime. I wouldn't wear this in the highest of heat, but on the summer evening, spring day, spring night, fall day, fall night, winter day, winter night, you can wear this whenever. I've worn this in every situation. Date night, I've worn it to the office. I've worn it to hang out with friends out at a lounge. Like, I've worn this in different situations, and this is excellent. Fan favorite out in the community as well. If you haven't tried this one, this is another one. There's samples available on Zaharoff. Get your nose on the man. A very sweet, jammy, incensey, lightly smoked rose. That sugar cane note is awesome. From the house of Zaharoff, we have signature rosé, man. In my opinion, it ain't nothing better than this, in my opinion. All right. Up next, all right, this fragrance introduced me to the more masculine side of rose, and I was really kind of stumped with my first overall experience with this fragrance. And as time has went on, this has just developed into one of those, you know, wild cards, so to speak. You know, wearing a fragrance that is just so different from anything else. And we talk about the note of rose, which is used in a lot of fragrances. That's saying something, all right? And the quality of this is insane. From the house of Argos, we have Adonis Awakens. Adonis Awakens. Now, admittedly, this isn't my favorite rose attempt from Argos. Actually, Palace of Athene is my favorite, all right? And we can get into that another time. But this holds significance because of the profile, the more masculine approach to rose. Notes like pink pepper, cashmere and wood. It's kind of like this light raspberry touch as well to the rose, but the rose in here comes off very fresh, but also comes off a bit, I would say dark, kind of dampy, slightly dark and dampy. That's what the rose comes off in this fragrance. And blended with the cashmere and the bergamot and the pink pepper and the woods in here. That's what really uplifts this fragrance to a great experience. That woody component that's in this fragrance. Now, I believe it's a sandalwood note in here. That's really the sandalwood, the cashmere wood blended with that kind of fresh, dampy, slightly moody rose. That's what the vibe is, like a moody rose. It doesn't come off like pow, refreshing, lighten up the room, Christmas tree, lighten up the room type vibes. No, not to me. It never has. But it has a certain appeal to it that makes it so different due to the wood factor and the type. Well, I ain't gonna say the type of rose. I'm just saying what the blend of this, what it makes the rose do. Because I believe there's a fresh rose in here. But when you're talking woods, and you even get this musk, you get these woods, man. It's just different. It's one of the most. This one and one other one are what out of the five that we're talking about. They're like truly unique. I've never smelled another rose scent like this. Like there's like relatability with like some rose fragrances that I have. Like some openings may remind you of some openings, some mids may make you remind you of some mid. Like there's some relatability there, but I truly have never experienced another rose fragrance like this. This is incredible stuff, man. And a lot of people deem this as their favorite rose in their collection, and I get it. Especially a lot of the fellas who really tap into this. So more on the woodsy side, like this fresh, damp, kind of darker, moody rose. That's what I'm getting from just the overall experience from the profile, not the note breakdown, but like the profile experience for me. That's what I'm getting. And some people can get lost in the notes. You can get lost in the notes and be, really dedicated to the note breakdown versus what your nose is picking up. And that's what you got to remember. And that's what this series is all about as well. Documenting my journey to what my nose has really experienced and allowed me to, have these memories and create these conversations, not only here on YouTube, but, in real life when I have conversations about fragrance with people who I'm around day to day. All right. So This stuff is incredible, unlike any other rose fragrance, more on the masculine side for sure. Like I said, that pink pepper, the woods, and the style of rose that comes about in this fragrance is truly awesome. Definitely recommend a sample. Get you a sample of this. You can save 10% over at Argos as well. I have a code there, DEDRICK10. Get you a sample, see for yourself. Outstanding quality, craftsmanship. Everything you get from Argos is 10 out of 10. And this fragrance for sure is unlike any other rose that I have experienced. From the house of Argos, we're talking Adonis Awakens. One of the more masculine roses out there. Look at that juice color, man. Goodness gracious. One of the more masculine rose takes out there for sure. All right. Up next, we're going to talk about a little bit of a fresh rose. All right. A more fresher take on the rose, and this is my favorite from the house. There's another one, I think it's called Silent Night, that gets all of the love, and rightfully so. It's really good, but this to me is the best from the house, just because this blend from this fragrance opened up another lane for me to be like, man, I really like rose like this as well. What am I talking about? From the house of Maison, we're talking about Rebirth. Rebirth from Maison. And what it is about this one, man, you get notes of lavender, peony, rose, amber, vanilla, and oud here. Fresh oud rose masterpiece. This stuff is beautifully blended, performs very well, but I am just super attracted to the overall freshness of this fragrance. And when you have the lavender and you have the peony, that kind of bright floral addition to this rose, and then you add the vanilla, and then you add the amber, and then you add what the oud does. The oud is not a big time player here. It's mostly the rose is really hovering around every note and every accord. But man, it makes it available to wear for me, because I'm a situational fragrance wearer. So I wear this in the warmer months. I wear this all year round. Spring, summer, fall, and winter. I've worn this on a very hot day, moving out and about in the world, no issues. Not cloying, not beyond sticky, not headache inducing, none of that. And yes, I limited my sprays. I went with 4 sprays and I was good to go all day long. I've worn this to work. I've worn this to events. I've worn this on a date night. This is just one of those ones. And a huge compliment magnet. Huge. Women love this fragrance. That's just been my experience. When I have worn this fragrance, I consistently get at least one conversation about this fragrance. And again, the freshness of the rose. And like I said, really blended in with that peony, really blended in with that lavender. That's what really makes it a very bright rose. But then you get that undertone of the just the right amount of sweetness from that vanilla and amber combo. It is great. It is great. So this opened up my experience to say, hey, I like, I really enjoy the fresher style rose, and the complexity that's in with this fragrance is that underlying of the sweetness that comes in as the fragrance continues to develop and continues to dry down. And this has been one of the great experiences, especially in the rose department over the last 2 years. I got this in last year. Maison did send this to me. And when I smelled, I said, yo, this is different. I've never really smelled a rose like that. And it really captivated me, man. And I keep it in the front of my collection area, especially in the rose department in my collection. But overall, fresh, clean rose, a hint of sweetness, a hint of oud. And I think if you love rose, I probably say this about all these fragrances, all right? But you're missing out. I don't know if Maison has samples. I think they do. But if they do have samples out there, I highly recommend trying this out. And even if you're not into rose, I think this could be one that could be deemed an easy wear. Even though this fragrance does transition from opening to mid to the dry down, it never gets out of control where you're just kind of like, you're asking yourself, what is going on? It doesn't do that. This is a really dope fragrance, great rose fragrance, and a very fresh and clean fragrance. From the house of Maison, we're talking Rebirth. I enjoy this, man. This is the best from the house in my opinion. Great stuff. All right, and last but not least, we have another complex profile when talking the note of rose. This stuff is wild, but it is so good. And I took a chance on getting this fragrance, and I said, you know what? I'm looking for a challenge, and this definitely provided that. From the house of Tiziana Terenzi, probably the most challenging rose that we're talking about today. We have Kaput Monday. Kaput Monday from Tiziana Terenzi. Man, listen, another rose oud bomb. But you get a beautiful spiced rose here. A lot of oud here, but a lot of rose here as well. The perfect marriage of a masculine fragrance. Adonis Awakens, I spoke on that as being a rose fragrance that I've never experienced that profile before. Kaput Monday is another one. This stuff is very elegant, beautiful, sophisticated, complex. The perfect blend. There's multiple ouds in here. There's multiple rose in here. It is outstanding, fresh, a little bit powdery, spicy for sure. And I like spicy rose fragrances, but it has to be blended a certain type of way. So I'm not a fan of like just a raw spiced rose. I gotta have a little bit extra there, a little bit of layers, and this gives me that. And the oud play here is outstanding. And then this transitions, it opens up with this beautiful spiced, this beautiful spice, slightly powdery style rose blended with some tough oud in the opening. It's not fecal, it's not stank, it's not that. It's just blended well, and the quality is present. And then what it does, it gets a little bit more vibrant in the mid. It's a little bit more vibrant in the mid, then it gets a little bit more powdery in the dry down. And it's just one of those not for everyone fragrances. It's just not for everybody. It's not for everyone. This is for a particular nose who have appreciation of the art form. And the note of rose is really done well, so beautifully in here. Now for me, this is a cooler weather rose. So fall and winter, evenings out, late night dinners out, the sun is down when this is around. For sure. And although expensive online for sure, you can find us on discounts for a solid price as well. But if you're looking for a unique take on rose, and this one kind of does what Nawab of Oudh does. It kind of goes through different stages. Spiced, fresh, powdery, slightly sweet. You get different layers of rose and oud here. You know, when I do my oud video, this could very well be in that video as well because of the representation of the oud. But to my nose, the rose really elevates, and on my skin, it really elevates and goes through those different stages. And just awesome. This is awesome stuff, but not for everybody. Do not blind buy this fragrance. Get you a sample and see for yourself. Another masculine take on rose and a unique blend. I don't have anything else in my collection that smells like this or even reminds me of this. Nothing. Great stuff, man. From the house of Tiziana Terenzi, we have Kaput Monday. Great performer. Amazing, amazing fragrance for sure. All right, so there you have it, man. Part 4 of the scent profile series, talking about the note of rose, and we could have went on and on and on and on about rose. But what are some of your favorite rose fragrances, man? Do you love rose? Are you iffy, or do you hate rose? Do you love Turkish rose, Damask rose, Bulgarian rose, just flat out fresh rose? What are some of your favorite rose fragrances, man? And you got to get out there and try. And I was like everybody, well, not everybody, I was like the majority as well when you're talking about rose. I think rose is for the ladies. Nah, sadly mistaken. But I'm glad I was proven wrong by these particular profiles and more. I have more rose fragrances, but these were the 5 that made sense to have a conversation around with this style of video. All right, so let me know down below in the comments. Are you enjoying this series? Are you enjoying the scent profile series? If you are, let me know. Hit that thumbs up, hit the like button. Well, that is the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you are not already. And I just appreciate all the conversation for sure wrapped around this series. This is my most proud of this this series. Is very proud of this work. Out of a lot of content that I've ever done, this scent profile series I love it. All right, I'm very excited to do it. I'm glad that I was able to kind of cook up an idea to kind of talk about my journey with some of the notes that have really captivated me for sure. And I know the Rose is right at the top of the list. All right. So till next time, be cool, be cool, be safe, take care of yourselves. Remember, it's positive energy, it's positive vibes. Splack it up, splack it down, splack that thing all around. And remember, what you put out into this world is exactly what you're going to get back. Peace, y'all. Until next time, splack it. Don't be afraid of Rose, fellas. Good Lord. Just try it out. All right, peace.